All right, we're back. We're joined by a guy who really doesn't need much of an introduction, Jayson Shaw, man. Jason, thanks for coming on the show, buddy.
Yeah, thanks, man. I was supposed to come the last couple of days, but I've been a bit busy.
Every time I hit up Jason to come and join, he's always in the middle of like 200 people by his booth, and it's pretty crazy because this is your first time going and having a booth all by yourself, along with Onboard and Perry. How's it been for you, man?
Yeah, man, I was a little bit nervous leading up to it. I wasn't too sure. Obviously, I've been coming here for what the last like 6, 7 years, so uh, I kind of knew what to expect as far as going to other booths and seeing what goes on there, and
That's
kind
a
of
lot of responsibility, though.
yeah, I know that. So when I got here and I had to set everything up, that's when it really kicked in. I'm like looking at everything on the floor, and I'm thinking, oh god, this is gonna take forever. But finally got it all up, and once I got it up and kicking, um, yeah, it looked great. The booth looks great. Aura did a great job.
She really did, dude. Like that layout of it and just the classiness of it, just the vibe of it, because it's been kind of a focal point in that whole front part of the arena, man.
yeah, I think obviously it's quite close to the front door and the pro arena, and there's a lot of amateurs on the other side too. So I think we managed to get that spot just because Rason and QTech never um, come this time. So managed to get a good spot at the front. Obviously, drive a lot of people through there, so it's quite lucky to be in that spot.
But you're kind of a unique guy. We were just talking about this off air. It's like you've been kind of that hated guy when it comes to American fans in a lot of sense because of the Mosconi Cup, right?
Yeah.
You kind of have a big personality, can kind of rub people the wrong way, and then they get to know you, and it's completely different, you know? And not only that, but then you go on and you have a lot of success like you've had in the first, 4 months of the year. And now this is nuts, man. I know you came with a lot of cues, sold a lot of cues, but more importantly, it's like every time I turn around and walk up to the front, that Perry booth, that Jayson Shaw booth, that onboard booth, it's deep, man, deep.
Yeah, I'm lucky to have a lot of people come in there, but I'm also inviting them in there to play me, take pictures, have fun, sign things, interact and just get to know everyone. I know a lot of people that's here. They're already fans, and I've made a lot of new ones this trip. And I've actually had people come up to me and say, when I first met you, I didn't like you. And I was like, I've never met you. And they were like, yeah, but someone told me.
But they can assume, right? Just because of the stuff they go and see.
And I said, yeah. And he said, yeah, but, now that I've spoke to you and my friend said you're one of the nicest guys, you could just go up and talk to you, no problem. He said, I want to apologize and, I want to buy some stuff from you.
How cool is that, man?
Yeah, well, he's telling me he doesn't like me at first, right? So I was kind of like, I was kind of thinking to myself,
but then it comes full circle, though.
Yeah, I know that. So, and he said he'd never met me, and it was just down to seeing something he'd watched, which is probably what you said, Mosconi Cup,
right?
But I get it. I said probably people in Europe are probably the same when that's going on. You know what I mean? It comes both ways.
You're in a lot of senses in that same. I mean, you are in that same class as like a Shane or a Josh or being the face of the industry. Like, do you think about that at all?
Yeah, I think. Do you know what? The more I think about it, I think I could. Not just by myself, but I really think I want to grow the game. I want the game to go good places, and it needs more people more pros to step up and start marketing themselves a little bit better and pushing their own brand. And that way, maybe we could get some more sponsors into it. As listen, if there was like another 4 or 5 players here with their own booths, it would be great. Everybody would get it. So then you build your fan base a little bit more. You know what I mean? That's what it's all about.
A lot of it is having personality.
Yeah, that's true. There's probably only, a few people I think could pull it off, because it's not just staying in the booth and playing pool. You're talking every 2 minutes. You're taking pictures.
Dude, you're still playing in the tournament, man. Like, I've been here and I've been like shaking hands, like I'm running for mayor, right, and taking pictures. But like, you're on a whole other level, and then on top of that, you're selling things, and then on top of that, you're still on the winner's side.
I just won 9-8.
Hill.
I just won 9-8, and it's probably up there with one of the best matches I've ever played.
Talk about it some.
It was break and run all the way up to 4-3 to me. Then Billy breaks dry, I run out. Then I break dry, Billy runs out. He breaks and runs out. I break and run out. He breaks and runs out. I break, get kicked in off. He runs out, 7-6 up. Then he breaks and runs out.
Now you're down 2.
Yep. Then I break and run out. Then he breaks and gets absolute rollings. I mean rollings, and he misses the 3-ball, jumps up so bad. And then I break and run the last game, and I made a sick bank in the last game straight off the bat.
Did he have the shot, though?
Oh,
You
he
just missed it.
was like 4 inches away from the hole, just off angle. He just had to punch it and come up the table. And he jumped and he said after it, man, I haven't been playing so much and I felt nervous there. And I said, yeah, I actually was feeling it a little bit myself, but I think it was more adrenaline.
But how important is it though? You've taken time off at at certain points in your career where it went. How is that transition back? Like, do you ever just get used to it and it just becomes second nature, or do you have to like work through it even still?
Yeah, obviously with the pool room and that, I really took a lot of time off. Took like 6 months off, and it really reflected in my game for the following year, like 2021.
Yep.
I was still traveling and playing, but I wasn't doing what I'm supposed to be doing.
And there was a lot of people that said, I don't think Jayson should be on that team, leading up to the Mosconi Cup because you really hadn't gone and had a signature win. You weren't necessarily doing things on Euro points, so it was a different time. But
Yeah.
then you ended up following that up with one of the sickest, MVP performances ever.
Yeah, so the Mosconi Cup's a different beast. You know what I mean? You could be playing terrible all year, but when it comes to that, there's not anybody more up for the Mosconi Cup than I am. So I think obviously Phil's on that same. He loves it out
it's
there
easy
too.
to go and say it, but
Yeah.
but you
Go and
you-
do it.
You
Yeah,
back it up, man.
yeah. So I just I feel like this tournament too. Just as I got here, I had all the new Perry cues. I actually took one out and I've been using it. I've got a brand new shaft, a brand new cue, brand new extension, brand new tip, everything. And I've been at the booth. I must have played about
Hold on a minute, because I
1,000
know how it
racks.
is with some of you guys where one little change, especially when it comes to a tip and having time to go and adjust and break it in and get comfortable with it, like how much of a transition is that for you?
Oh, it's been a lot because this one is like super low deflection, so I'm having to adjust from what I was using because I was having a little bit of deflection. So now I have to. That's why if you stop past the booth and you see everything, I'm not rolling any balls in. I'm playing everything with
Dude, you two-stroke everything. Every
maximum
time I see it, you're just
maximum
like
spin,
effortless.
draw shots, follow shots, everything. I'm trying to dial in and get it. I'm taking it for a ride basically. That's what I'm doing with the cue, and I'm there all day. And as soon as my match is up, say 2:30, I'm hitting balls until 2:25, and then walk straight into the arena.
It's and he's not BSing because I've been here and he literally is. He's going from it. A lot of guys. We talked to Federer yesterday, and he was saying, "No, as soon as I'm done, I want to get out of here. I want to relax. I want to get some rest. I want to go and just decompress mentally." You're jumping in from a gauntlet over there, in the lines, then in the booth, and then you're going and playing a match against Billy Hill. Like, how do you come off of that adrenaline?
Well, I came over there and I had to like just step away for a minute because everybody's asking, "Hey, let's take a picture. Let's do this. You want to play? You want to play?"
Along
And,
with me asking him to come and hop in here and do an
yeah,
interview.
so I just step out for maybe 20 minutes and just try and chill out, not think about anything over there. Actually, I've been walking around to the other booths and talking to the other
You're
vendors.
close to around here, though, ain't you?
Yeah, about 3.5 hours away from
Well,
here.
that's not bad.
Yeah, it's
Are the
not
kids
bad.
here?
No, I didn't. I think my son would have been somewhere over there in that other room, and I don't fancy chasing him around for 6 days. I'm already
blame you.
tired.
I don't blame you. All right, so let's talk about your successes this year and how you go and stay motivated because, even though you guys have, I think, 3 based off of points when it comes to the Mosconi Cup, you've had great accomplishments on the table. How do you still in April and May go and have that same hunger, that same drive to want to be on the top of that mountain each event?
So obviously, I've been playing good since obviously the end of last year. Started playing a lot more. Won Turn and Stone, did the high run. Obviously went to the Derby, went deep in every event. Second, third, fourth. Like I was right there. Just things weren't happening. Sometimes it's meant to be, sometimes it's not. And if it's gonna be your time, it'll happen. When it's coming. You can kind of feel it. I know that a big win is around the corner. And I mean like something big. I've been here many times in my career before, and I've always been going through stages, and I've been like, wow, I'm playing amazing. I just nothing's happening towards the end. It just happens sometimes.
Look, man, I know a lot. I watch a lot of pool, and usually there's certain points in the event where you get away with one. You were
Yeah.
just down 8-6 against Billy,
Yeah.
and then you end up winning Hill.
Yeah.
You think this is your time?
Well, hopefully, man, like I said, I've been putting in the time. I'm playing the way I should be, putting the effort in again and treating the respect it should get. So hopefully, in the next few months with all these big events coming up, I'm coming there hungry to win. I'm not just coming there to make up the numbers or do well in the event to like finish in third. That yeah, it's a good good to finish in the top 2 or 3 all the time, right? You would take
Yeah.
that every tournament. But I'm a winner.
That doesn't satisfy
You
you.
know,
though.
it doesn't satisfy me, so I'm not satisfied until I win. And I'm right on the hunt for something big. And like I said, I've been playing good. I've been putting in the time, and when it's my time, it'll be.
Yeah.
I've been here many times before, and hopefully it's pretty soon, so I can get on that wave and ride it for a little while, because that's what happens.
It's pretty sick though. Like you talk about it, like you ain't won an event in a year. You've had a lot of success this year already, man.
Yeah, I know that. It's just I want to win more than I've won big events before, so I want to be back at like the top, like you said. I want to be up there winning the events, being in the limelight. That's what it's all about.
Let's talk about the World Championship for a minute.
It was I felt great over there. I felt good.
You looked like you were on a mission.
Felt like I played well, and then just one little tiny shot in the middle of the match against Cole at 8-ball. I was up 6-3.
You were cruising.
Yeah, I was cruising. But then after that, he played well. So I'm always in tough matches with him. Always. If you look at our record, I think it's been about 11-10, 11-10, 11-10.
I think the last time I seen you guys, it was a China Open.
Yeah, and so I beat him in the Chinese 8-ball. I beat him in the Chinese 8-ball tournament. Before that, it was the Kuwait Open semi-final. He was up 10-5, and I beat him 11-10.
That's pretty
Then
sick.
about a few months later, we went to the US Open, and he was up 10-4, and I beat him 11-10.
That's pretty strong,
yeah,
man.
yeah.
Those are big comebacks.
Yeah, yeah.
And that's when he's in like in
He
full
was
co
in-
mode.
He was over here. That's when he was, they were all over here, Chang, everybody, and they were coming on a regular basis. And then I think I played him. I can't remember. Oh, I played him in Steinway. They had the Steinway Classic after the International Open or the US Open, and he beat me in that. And it was like, 9-7. So, he's got me the last couple of times, but it's
You
never.
end up with, there's never any cupcake draws when it comes to majors, but I know when it gets down to single elimination, remember the US Open, you draw filler. I think it was 2 events actually when it went
Shane.
down to single, like back-to-back events. You had Josh in like the very first of that 16 or 32, whatever it was.
Last 16 of the US Open 9-ball championships when I was defending it. And then the following month or two later, it was in Vegas, World 10-ball, last 16. I draw him, and we played a great match there. It was like 10-8. I think I broke dry at 9-8.
Yeah.
There's all the players right now. There's a lot of good players, and there's a lot of talent coming through. So it's kind of keeping us on our toes, Shane, myself, just all the top players. You see, like, Mika's making a little comeback a little bit.
Pretty crazy. Him and Darren.
Darren's making a little comeback. Ralph looks like he's playing a little bit better. Niels looks like he's playing
How much motivation is it though that with these points and what Matchroom's doing?
Well, it's definitely something that we've looking for a while. A proper ranking system. We want proper points. We want
Based off play.
Yeah, and we want more money, and we want to. Well, not that we want more money. We want to see events more money, bigger prize fund, and we're getting to see that now. And I think that's driving every practice more and trying, like, really, like, thinking, well, there's more money. Maybe I can from it now. You know what I mean?
Do you feel like a responsibility when it comes to some of these guys you go and see as far as holding a professional standard? Like when it comes amongst the players, I mean.
Yeah, I think so. I don't think that.
Because you've gone through waves in your career. We were all knuckleheads whenever we were younger and had our moments or whatever. But now you're older. You got your own room. You got kids. You've matured.
Yeah, I think there's still some that have that, that youngness to them. They like to still have fun or whatever. But I do see a lot of young players coming through now that are got a good head on their shoulders. Like, for instance, you got Catchy, right? He's young, but for a young guy, he acts a lot older than he does. You got Fedor, who's young, does the same. He looks like he's about 30, the way he just goes about his life.
Real mature.
You got Shane Wolford, real nice kid, super,
Where do you see his game? Because you've been around this East Coast area for quite a bit. I'm of the opinion that I think he's the next guy up in Moscone Cup.
I said the same thing. I said this about 2 years ago, maybe 2.5 years ago. I thought he'd be good. He's left-handed, shoots good.
Something about lefties.
I know that. It's definitely. It's not just in pool though. It's in every other sport. Tennis, golf.
It's
a lot of different sports. Boxing. So there's just I don't know what it is, but it seems to work a little bit better than being right-handed. Or seem to be more talented in some aspects of their
It's hard
game.
to argue given all the successes. Like I don't got nothing to go and respond to it because I'm a righty, but I got nothing because all of you guys are just monsters and aliens, you know.
Yeah, so I think left-handed players are more creative in some sort of ways. But yeah, I think that young kid will be good. I think, well, he's what age is he? Like 20 something.
22, I think,
Yeah,
somewhere around
so
there.
I think he's got a good future. He's hanging,
He seems like
his
he's just
dad's.
like every event he's just getting better and better, taking off bigger names or at least making it more competitive and just taking steps. It seems like.
Yeah, I think his parents, they're good people. His dad's a really good guy. His mother's obviously they take him around and do whatever they can for him, and they have their own pool room too. So I'm sure that he's not just getting better because he's obviously putting the time in, and it's shown in some of the wins he's been having recently.
Well, let's talk about another Shane, and that's Van Boning winning
Yeah.
a world championship. What are your thoughts on it? What was your take on that whole experience?
Yeah, I think I think he's kind of due one, right? To be honest,
Yeah.
He was in the final, back-to-back finals, lost to Albin and Cole.
Mm-hmm.
So not easy, but I think he was knocking on the door, and if kind of just a matter of a time when.
But did you think? Because I was kind of skeptical going into that final where I'm like, come on, Shane, because I'm rooting for him,
Yeah,
right?
of course.
But then it's like it's Albin.
Yeah, but even though it's Albin's probably thinking, he's beaten before, right? So maybe he's thinking like,
Albin had a lot of class after that match was over.
yeah,
with.
maybe Albin's thinking, you know what? I'm gonna go out there and hammer him again. You know what I mean? And
Yeah.
but Shane's like thinking, yo, you beat me, I'm coming for you.
Yeah. How much is it for guys at your level? Like, do you think about those matches where you're like, I want to get you back, man?
Of course, like I go into the Moscone Cup like that every time. I'm like,
Because you guys remember the ones that the balls you missed, the matches you
Yes.
lost, a lot more than you do the balls that went in, the matches you won.
yeah, you get fired up, right? You don't want to lose again. So
Right.
you're like, I'm gonna go out there and you're gonna show him I'm gonna do this.
Yeah.
I'm not gonna let him get in front or put pressure on me. But I think watching the final, there was a big game around when it was like 5-4 when Albin snookered him on the one and he's kicked the one in.
Yeah.
That was like the changing point in that match because after that he went on.
He's on the like bottom right and then kicks it in the top left. I think.
Yeah,
Like that, yeah.
I thought Albin would have played a different shot and not bank the one so far down and spin the cue ball more, get in behind those two balls.
How hard is it though to go and adjust on those tables to be comfortable enough to go and try a shot like that? I mean, he didn't have much option,
No,
right?
he didn't.
But like those conditions can be pretty brutal. The new cloth, the lights, that whole environment compared to let's say playing out here.
Yeah, I think all the tables though were playing really well. They had the new cloth, they were clean, the balls were cleaned all the time. Everything seemed like real, professional.
Does it seem more like a newer standard?
Yes,
more
it's
proper?
more of you can feel that you're in a proper event. Not that the other events are not proper, but when you go there, the setup and the way it is, you feel like you're really. Cameras are always there.
Well, that's one thing
they're
that
on
I
you.
give a lot of credit to Emily and them in Matchroom. It's like they're not settling, even if things aren't perfect. They're still going and evolving. And we saw that video of Carl going and asking her about the 4-inch pockets. What are your thoughts on having a world championship be on that kind of standard on 4-inch versus what was it there, like 4 1/4? No,
it was
4.5.
It was.
They seem like they played real generous. I'll say that.
Yeah, they were a little bit. I don't think it was that Matchroom wanted to leave it like that. They got their shipment late.
Yeah, she was saying that.
So they didn't have time to go ahead and prepare the pockets the way that they want
Right.
to standardize the game of 9-ball. So I think now she knows that. And
do you think, and this is different than like a U.S. Open where, it's an open event. Do you think the World Championship should be on 4-inch pockets?
I think every event should be on 4-inch pockets. Listen, the standards got better, right? The talent's coming, the plays went up like crazy. So why are we having big pockets? We need to make it professional looking. It's not good when you watch on TV or you watch other events and you see balls hitting halfway down the rail and it goes in. There's
I'm
nothing.
seeing it like a diamond and a half up and it's still falling in.
Yeah, but the people at home then watch it and then they turn it because they're like, I'm not watching this. You know what I mean?
Well, there's a different excitement whenever like a World Pool Masters, which is coming up, right?
Yep.
It's like outs that for you guys were automatic and mundane and boring, and it's just like I ain't trying to watch this because I know he's gonna get out like 1,000 times out of 1,000. When you go and play on 4-inch pockets, it makes for a different dynamic. Nothing's a given.
You ain't gonna
You
how
ain't
can
gonna
I
get
put
away with it.
It doesn't matter how good you are or how good you play. If you play on 4-inch pockets, you'll miss some
You have to
shots.
bear down that much
Yes,
more.
the pockets at the World Pool Masters last year were the best pockets I've ever seen. They were like, honestly, they were so tight. We went to the practice arena. I couldn't believe how tight they were. I think they were just under 4 at
Yep.
one point, and they ended up kind of tweaking the practice table and the other table and changed it so it was 4 inches perfect, and that was tough. I think that you seen I lost hill to Neil's, and I played the 2 ball, and it goes in on any other table,
You see what I mean? How guys
but
remember the
but
shots that they go
it
and miss.
jaws up. Yeah, like I remember everything. It jaws up and stays up, and if you look back on that, it barely clips the point on the pocket, but stays up. So yeah, I think going forward, I think it's the way forward, and like you said, you're never gonna be watching it and thinking, is this guy ever gonna miss?
No, and I think for my money, it's just rotation at times when you have, let's say, buckets.
Yeah.
It can be difficult, man. It just can. It's I want to see that excitement of that possibility of he can go and miss. And you guys are so elite where you guys make it look super easy, but that 4 inches just completely throws a wrench in it, and it makes 9 ball super exciting for my money.
100%. And like someone said, their 4-inch pockets with slick cloth makes the most sense. It does, because that 4-inch plays a little bit bigger with the newer
Right.
cloth, but once you play on it for a little while and it gets wore in, then you're really playing on 4-inch pockets, because you can't hang the ball down the rail.
Expect to get away with
Yeah,
it.
get them out off the rail. You're gonna miss one eventually, because you just clip the edge of that knuckle and it's the jaw and stay right there. So I think going forward, I think they got a game plan, and I think they're gonna try and do what they can to make it the same way on a regular basis.
Well, let's talk about the World Pool Masters for a second. I mean, if I ask you what your expectation is, it's going to be to win. But what are you really looking to go and accomplish out there?
I'm just looking to go out there, and I'm going there to win. That's what I'm going
Well,
every
race the 7, win or break.
Yeah, every tournament I'm going to win, no matter if it's race to 4 or whatever. That's on my mind. That's in my mind. I'm going. That's what I'm going there for, right?
Yeah.
I'm not going there just to play.
Right.
So obviously, I want to win the event.
You
So
haven't won one of those events, have you?
the World Pool Masters. I lost in the final to Al-Kaidi Hill, and then the following year I lost in the semis to Shane. I think it's short and sweet. If you can get in there and take your chances and you're good under pressure, and you can try and handle the equipment a little better. So I think I'm going out there.
You'd be on top of a lot of people's lists when it comes to handling pressure and those conditions.
Well, I'm in good form, right? So I'm going to go out there, give it my all, and I know it's not just one tournament. I got another one straight after it. So
UK Open.
yeah, UK Open. So I'm going there to give it my best, and like I said, I'm playing well. I'm finishing deep in a lot of big events. And
You like the way they're coordinating everything, kind of having it back to back like that?
yeah, because it doesn't mean that you just fly in and then fly straight back out and you're gone.
You get more bang for your buck when it comes to your money too.
Yes, you're gonna, and plus you get to stay around maybe London, do something for a couple of days, get to see whatever is around London, and then you can go back to concentrating on the event. There's nothing worse when you have to leave and then fly all the way back home, and then a week later or
Brutal.
2 you have to fly back.
It's a lot of cost too.
Yes, it is, and obviously staying in hotels is not cheap either, right?
For sure.
And you got to eat and travel and get around and stuff like that. So I think having tournaments back to back will be a lot better for other players. Thinking some players might not want to come if they have to only
For sure.
stay. Like Justin from New Zealand, he went to Vegas.
Oh, Sanjit.
Sasic, I think,
something like that. Yeah.
He went to Vegas and stayed there. Didn't play the World 9-ball.
Yeah, I thought that was really odd.
I asked him. I said, "Why?" And he said, "Well, I've got 3 events here." And
The
I'm
U.S. Opens.
Yeah, and I'm going there, and I was thinking to myself, but were you really playing the game to to play in the biggest events possible. I thought that was a bit of a strange one.
Yeah, I mean, especially for a player like him, I was in that same mindset because I ran into him and Marco one night out there at the Rio, and I was real surprised to hear it because a lot of you European guys, especially the guys that are staying over there full time, that's what they want to go and do. They want to make the matchroom event. So
Yep.
him going and staying in Vegas playing, Mark Griffin's U.S. Open, it made me scratch my head.
Yeah, I asked him, and he was like, "Oh, I'm just gonna hang around here," and but each to their own. If that's
Right.
maybe he felt he was getting more money, like value for his buck. He was already in Vegas. Now he has to fly from Vegas to England, and then England back to.
Yeah, I mean, to each their own, like you said, but I don't know, man. I just, you know, most of the European guys are a lot more proper in the sense that it's matchroom events, and that's what we're going to go and play. And we want to get our ranking points. You want to get a shot at Mosconi Cup, and I mean, you're not going to do that staying over there in Vegas. You're just
No,
not.
it's not going to work. But like I just said there, it is what it is, and I thought it was a bit strange, but I think going forward, I think Pool's in good hands. I think we'll have a lot of events going around.
You've been around long enough. Like how? And I asked a lot of guys this. Are you more optimistic now than let's say you were 5-10 years ago?
Yeah, I was thinking, because it was always the same for years. You'd go play in the same event, right, and it would be the same prize money.
Yeah.
And then you go the next year and it'd be the same again. There was just not any growth happening. It was like kind of like slow, if anything. And I think now that there's a lot of players that weren't playing or back playing.
Yeah.
That
and doing well. Like a lot of guys who are on the tail end of their career who are going and having successes. Like we talked about Darren and Mika and Thorsten and Ralph and all these guys.
Another one that kind of stopped playing, Dimitri Jungo.
Oh, he's playing the Masters.
This is what
I love though about that because he's playing good.
Yeah.
This
is what I'm saying. Do you know what's crazy? In 2006, I played in London, the IPT qualifier, and it was me, Rico Dix, and Dimitri Jungo.
So this would have been 16 years ago.
Yeah, and I was only 17 at the time.
Wow, man.
And I went down there, and this guy staked me, and I ended up playing them in the final. And I qualified for the IPT with Dimitri and...
Wait, so both of you guys were in the final, but y'all went through a qualifier?
Yeah, we went through qualifiers, and we were both in. And if he beat him and I beat him, then both of us qualified. But if he beat him and I lost to him, then they two qualified. And we ended up... He beat me, he beat Michael, I beat Dick.
So beat each other.
Yeah, we both to go. So our team I couldn't believe it. Was crazy. And then I've known that
17.
guy. Yeah, I've known that guy for a long time. And then he quit. He quit playing maybe about 6 years ago.
Yeah.
And then now he's back around. And now
I would see his name peppered on a Euro tour here, a Euro tour there. Nothing consistent, but you would see him go and take down a name here, take down a name there, go deep in one event. But what I love about seeing his name, especially on that list, was that he's playing really solid. He went deep, I think, in the World 10 Ball, and I think both events out there in Vegas. He had successes in.
He beat me in that the race, the time was at Las Vegas Open,
right before the World
He
Championships.
beat me in the TV arena, I think it was. He beat me 4-3 and then beat me 4-2. But he played well. Like I said, he's a good player. But these guys that weren't around are starting to pop up again. They're starting to.
But it's because of the way things are now.
Yep, 1,000,000%. Probably weren't practicing as much. Weren't really thinking, well, what am I doing? You know what I mean?
It's hard. A lot of you guys have been through a lot of stuff, so it's hard to be optimistic or think that it's gonna. That you guys have hopes to go and be successful. Yeah, sorry if the audio is a little choppy, you guys. I'm gonna take you out of here on this. Little birdie told me that John might be going after 714, and I want to get your thoughts on it.
Yeah, good luck. Hope he goes out there and tries to beat it because it'll just make me go back out there and try and beat it again.
Yeah.
I already had plans to go back and do this, but I'm not gonna let this one out this time. I'm gonna keep it. Just to make sure I have backup plan.
So you think you're going to go and raise that number?
Yeah, I'm going to go have a backup plan just in case someone nips in there with an 800 and I could just nip out the next day with an 850 or a 950. There you go.
Well, you heard it here first. Jayson, man, I appreciate you coming on. A lot of your booth. We're going to let you go.
Thanks,
but
Mike.
a lot, man. Keep it going.
Yep.